Hello and welcome to Shop Adventures 9. This week we got one topic to cover, but we do have a special request to ask about. Let's start with the topic we're going to cover and we'll move from there. Okay, we're going to cover this week bluing, chemical or cold bluing I guess you call it. And you know, although we do other bluing, obviously we do heat bluing. That's the kind that you use on watch parts and stuff like that. This is not a watch part bluing, although we're watchmakers. It is bluing for the things like you're going to see in the video, the handles, the knobs, the little dials, and the things that go, it's kind of like accessories to the main machine beds, you know, the forgings, the cast parts, and that sort of thing. The next thing we want to cover this week is we'd like to introduce you to a no spam zone newsletter that we're releasing. It's only going to come out 4 times a year, once each quarter, and that's all we're doing. I don't like to be spammed any more than you do. I'm real critical about it. Same with our videos. We do a once a week video. We like it. Unless we got something really special to share, then we'll bring it. And don't forget, we really do love to comment on your comments. And why we do notice that is if you'll visit any of our comments below any of our videos, you'll notice somebody asked a question. If they give us enough detail, we'll lay it all out there the best we know how, to be the most informative people we can be. That's what part of what we're here for. So if you'll sign up for our newsletter, it's really simple. Just go to our activeatom.com website, bottom of the page, left-hand side, there's a little box to sign up for it. You'll never get anything but the newsletter. You likely will never see more than 4 of them a year. We hope you like it. We'll keep it short. Time is important. We don't want to take all your time, so we hope you'll follow us there too. Okay, thank you. Have a great time watching this video and enjoy your week. Hey, hi, welcome. Patrick wanted me to take a moment away from a little bit of rework going on here during the assembly of the motors and the micro machines we're doing in the workshop. I'm out in actually in the machine shop area. These are some of the tools in my arsenal. There's some, I'm going to share why we have acetone, some deburring tools, some little finishing tools, and a wire brush and so forth. Here's what we keep running into on these vintage machines, and it's kind of something that he wants me to share, because behind me in this video, she's gonna share with you how we're gonna go ahead and blue these parts. And remember, you know, some of these machines, including the micro drill press, are somewhere around 100 years old, so you can expect some things to happen. Here's what we discover. You'll take like one of these knobs. These particular 4 right here. These are for the German-made micro drill press. These 2 back here, these are just the tightening knobs there that are going to go on that well blue painted MAR dial indicator stand. And Pat did a really good job rebuilding the dial indicator for that. Boy, it really looks neat. It's nice to see it work, because sometimes you would just think, oh, it goes in a box, goes in a corner, it's over with. Okay, back to me. Okay, so what we found out is that here's what we find. People put these knobs on these machines like that drill press, and you'll see all these marks on them. And they'll have this plier mark here. These are finished, so I'm not going to do that. Or, worse than anything, we always see this. Hey, you know, it's like one of those vices on your machine. First you tighten the handle. Oh, that's good. Let's just put an extension pole on the handle and make it a little tighter. Oh, wow. That feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and take that extension handle and the handle, and let's just pound on that thing. That's how I grew up in the machine shop when it first started. That was a mentality that tight's good, tighter must be better. Sometimes it's looser. Okay, anyway, a little lesson. So what we've had to do, because of the way people treat things, and you remember 100 years, I'm not picking on any prior machinist that's clearly probably long gone to the big machine shop in the sky. We just take these things, we go over, if necessary, when you see the plier marks, which is the most prominent thing we see, we just return them down a little bit on the bigger machine lathe, make them nice. Then we rewire brush the threading if necessary, and then we even get into the knurling, make sure we get that really good. The wire brush gets in here really good. Just want to stay on the same angle as the diamond patterns are. Don't crisscross that. That's the lecture I got before I started on this project from Patrick. Okay. And then you'll see, after I do that, we use this. So we use some sandpaper if necessary. Here's my deburr tools. This is a Bergeon kit. I kind of like those. And there's nothing not wrong with the Noga. They make good deburr tools. We have a lot of them. And here's the acetone. The final step, after all these little parts are done, we do an acetone cleaning with a simple rag. Get all that in there. We use all these in the clear. We put all these together in little holes. Make sure everything's getting out of there. Everything's deburred. That way, if it's not deburred correctly, you'll snag it. So these are perfect. They're now ready for Patrick. We're going to go over to Patrick right now. He's going to show you how we're going to blue these babies. Hope you'll join us. Come on along.
Okay, it's my turn. Okay, what I'm going to demonstrate is I'm going to show you how we're going to blue these fasteners. And one of the things I want to mention is we're going to do a chemical bluing. Okay, and that's different. In watchmaking, we don't do chemical bluing. We actually do heat bluing. And an example of that is if you look at a really fine watch movement, you notice the blue screws, the watch hands. Sometimes it'll be a very pretty blue. Okay, that can only be done with heat. And we may show that in a future video, but with chemical bluing, you aren't going to achieve those results. Actually, the bluing we're going to get with the chemical bluing is going to look more black. And you'll see, we're going to do it. We're going to show you the whole process. So you'll see these parts where they're all shiny. You'll see them when it's all done, and they're going to have more of a black appearance. Okay, if you take them out to the sun and you hold them just right, you'll see the blue hue. And it'll look really pretty, but it's going to be more black. Okay, just want to make a note of that. But it's still a good process. You know, if you're rebuilding a machine that originally had fasteners or parts that were black, this will match it perfect, and it'll last a while, and aesthetically it'll just look really good. You know, especially if the machine came with the black fasteners of the parts. Okay, in regards to the chemical bluing, I guess I'll show my magic sauce. Okay, we've tried a few chemical processes, and this is our favorite from Brunel's called Oxford Blue. And this works really well. I've been very happy with it, consistent results, which I'll be showing you. Okay, when using this, there's just a few things you'll need. You'll need just your general steel wool. You want to get the finest grade 4/0. Okay, this is the finest you can get, and it's really critical you get the finest. Okay, and then cotton balls. These are just your regular cotton balls you get at your drugstore. You can probably steal some from your mom or your girlfriend or your wife. But so just those. And that covers everything. Okay, I'm going to show you the process. And during the process, we're going to fast forward it, so I won't be talking. And then when I'm ready to, after the bluing process, we're going to do a finishing process. And when we do a finishing process, I'll come back. Okay. There is one note I want to make on the instructions. Okay, when you read the instructions for this chemical, what they tell you to do is they tell you that you're going to want to make about 2 to 3 on average applications. And what they tell you to do is they tell you to apply it all over the part, and then they want you to polish it with the steel wool, because you'll see in the video when I do it, it's going to look all blotchy. And what this does is it blends it really well and makes it all black and shiny. Okay, and what they want you to do is, so they want you to apply it, polish it, apply it, polish it, and so forth. And I think the reason why they want you to do that is because this is more popular for the gunsmiths that are working on a firearm. You know, they work on a portion of the gun, so they have to blue, like they have to spot blue. And it's really critical for it to look good, for the blue to match the existing bluing. So obviously you don't want to keep applying it, and then polish it, because then you may have gotten too dark and it won't match the existing blue. So I think that's why their instructions call for polishing after each application. Okay, in our case, we want these parts to be the blackest we can get. So what we're going to do, and what I've always done with great results, is I just do 3 applications without polishing in between. So I do 3 applications. I let it dry between each application, and then at the very end, if I'm happy with it, then I'll polish it. And if I see any inconsistencies, or if I see an area that didn't get blue, because I'll talk about that too. Sometimes you'll do a part, and there'll be a portion area on the part that just doesn't. You'll just see a spot where it just didn't take the bluing. Okay, and I'll show you how to resolve that. I'll show you that when I polish. I'll give you some tips on what you can do to resolve that if you get areas that just won't take it. And I think that covers everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the process, and I'll be back when I'm ready to polish.
But before I let you get away,
okay,
I gotta ask. Can't let you get off the hook that easy. What is the deal with this funny shaped piece of wood you got out here?
Okay, you actually see it's pretty thick too, and the shape is really funny. Okay, and what this came from our new lab sink. We have a lab sink where we clean the watch parts and so on, and this it's a maple top a bench type of sink. And we hired a person because this is we really don't like working with wood. So if we can get away with it, we try to hire somebody who knows how to do it better than us. Okay, and what he did was how he solved for the sink is he made 4 holes in each corner. Then he took a saw and just sawed each side out. And this is what this is. This is basically the hole this is what the result of the hole he made for the sink. And it's a stainless steel sink, type of lap sink. And we didn't want to throw it away. It looks really nice. So what we're going to do is I'm thinking of doing something really creative, because we have some machining skills. I want to have legs, right? Like maybe turn some legs, aluminum legs or something that installs in the side right here. So it looks really nice, be elevated like this. With 4 aluminum custom posts, So that's kind of some ideas. So that's in a future project, you'll probably see that.
Oh, great. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you had to justify the table. And I know in the future they'll get to see our ultrasonic and cleaning chemical station out there. It's really neat. It's coming. Thank you.
We'll share that. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay, as you saw in the video, I did 3 applications of this bluing chemical, and overall I think it looked pretty good. But our next stage is we want to polish it. Okay, and what the polishing process does is, you'll notice if you take a good close look, let's see if you can, you'll see it that it's kind of blotchy, and also the finish is dull. You know, it's especially there on the top, if you see it's really dull and blotchy, and that's where the steel wool comes into play. Obviously we don't want to remove the bluing, so that's why we use a the finest steel wool you can buy, and that's why the grade, that 4-0 grade, is so important, because we want to do more of a polishing process. Okay, it's really easy. All you do is just, not too hard. We just see so quickly, you can already see it's shining. Very lightly, see already it's shining. So you don't want to be aggressive, just go really lightly. Here, let me do this part really quick. Make sure I get all the corners and okay, and that's really about it. As you can see now what we have is we have a really nice consistent color. It's very nice, clean, has a little shine to it, especially the top. And you'll notice this isn't a perfect process. You'll see, especially on the corners right here, along the edges, you can kind of see where it didn't really take. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, it looks great. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is, earlier I had talked about when you do this process, sometimes the bluing just doesn't take. And here's a good example. Let's see if Lance can take a good close-up.
Here we go.
Okay, see right there? That's, I guess there was a screw or a rivet or I forget. But you can see where that little fastener was in there, made that little circle mark. Move around, see, like right there, if you can get that. It also didn't take right there. And that's likely caused by a bracket that was rubbing against it. Okay, and this is what I found out is, generally, if the part's very shiny or hardened, like another part rubbed against it, a lot, the bluing process just will not take. So it's really important that, as Lance was demonstrating, when he prepares these parts, one of the last steps that's really important is to take one of these abrasive pads, a really light one. Again, we still want a smooth finish, but we'll just roughen up just so slightly and just go through the whole part. And I found that this definitely helps with this problem. Okay, in our case, this is going to be fine for us, because again, where this show, where it didn't take here, there's going to be a fastener over it. So you aren't even going to see this. Same with the other area I showed you. There's a bracket there, so you aren't even going to see that. So, but if you want, let's say it was a part, like let's say it's this part, you had a big area right here that you had to be redone. Well, that's fine. You can go ahead and you can go ahead, try the abrasive pad, go over it, and then and reapply the chemical process. And if the bluing isn't as dark, if it's not dark enough for you, you can keep applying this as many times as you want. 10 times if you want, 20. I've just found that 3 applications pretty much the maximum. I've done more than 3. I've done 5, and it just doesn't seem to get darker. But it's good to know that you can do more if necessary. So that's good to know. The other thing, just one note I forgot to mention earlier: when you're applying the bluing chemical, when you apply it, After each application, you want the part to dry. Okay, if you notice in the video, I have all these parts, so by the time I finished the last part and went back to the first part was dried already. But let's say I was only doing 1 or 2 parts. I'd want to take, I'd want to just sit for 3 or 5 minutes just to ensure that the part's completely dry. And then you want to do your second and third application. Okay. And I think that's it. I think that covers everything. What
do we get to do with these parts next? What's our next schedule for this?
Okay, well, let me do this. Let me go ahead and polish all of these parts, and then I'll be back. And we'll just do one close-up view to show you how good the parts look. I hope they come out good. And then I'll answer your question.
That'd be great.
Okay, I'm back again. Okay, I just finished polishing all the parts. And Lance may want to do a close-up. But I think they all came out really good. We don't have to redo anything or touch up anything. I think we're pretty happy.
Oh, they're shiny. Look at that.
So you can notice they're shiny.
Look at the knurl.
Yeah, the color's very consistent throughout.
Nice.
Here, I wanted to show.
Go ahead.
Okay, and now to answer Lance's question, he had asked what the next step was for these parts. Well, these parts are actually just a few of the last parts we need to install on the tools we're putting back together. Let's see if I can identify them. I think. Okay, here I know. This one's for the flume base for the little watchmaker lathe. These 3 parts are for the micro drill press. And these 2 parts are for the MAR, is it? The little dial indicator stand. Okay, that's it. Oops.
Ha! Better you this time than me, huh?
Okay, I almost forgot to tell you guys about the most important step. And after we finish all the processes, the application, the polishing, we definitely need to oil the parts. Because if we just leave them the way they are, there is a chance they can rust. So what I do is I just use a mineral-based oil, and just really quickly, I just put a single drop, especially on this little tiny part, and I just work the oil in it. Just like so. And that's really about it. That's all you have to do. And by doing that, I've been doing this for years now with that product, and I've never had a rust issue. And it lasts a long time. We're really happy with this process. So I just want to be sure I mention this because this is really important. So that's it.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed this week's video, and please don't hesitate to subscribe. And did you know, we really do value getting those comments. We love to answer any question you may have for us. Thank you.